We've always been kind of Madison's realtor, and it goes all the way back to Paul Stark and, just the roots that we have in the community. And it's something that we feel we kind of own in a way that other real estate companies just don't.
We started off with helping to reimagine the Stark logo. Tell me about what drove us to want to change that in particular, that mark, that logo piece, which is sort of your moniker all over Dane County. It's what everybody sees every day.
We just felt the time had come for us to reimagine that whole idea, but in a more updated way that reflected a different generation, a different way of communicating, a different way that the mark's going to be used in various collateral. If your brand is, well, you're Madison's oldest realtor. Our tagline used to be a family tradition since 1908. Well, that means you've been around for a long time. But you don't want to let that go either, because it's real and it's unique and it says something that's still important today if you believe in community. For people to have a place that comes together that communicates their shared purpose, I think is critically important to building a culture. And without that sense of culture, you've got nothing. The other thing that was really important to me was the idea that the building reflected all the messages that brand was meant to symbolize.
We need something that's going to stand for where we feel like we're evolving to and where we're going. This is how we position ourselves as people in the market who are able to give you information, give you knowledge through the space and the leadership that's here. How are we going to reconnect people in a way that allows us to learn and grow together? That wasn't going to happen in cubicles with, old workstations and fax machines. ZD did a fantastic job of coming in and saying, here's our process, and we're going to do these different exercises that are going to help you pinpoint what is it that you're looking to achieve from a tone, from a vibe, from an environment standpoint. How are we going to bring in the aesthetic piece of your brand and what's going to fit that mold the best? And I think that was really helpful.
Through that process, I think we learned even more about who we are because we had to answer some of those questions. And so it was actually working through that process that helped us through self-reflection, but then also making sure that we are staying true to who we are. Our office was actually a nice office before, but it didn't breathe the energy that we were looking for. And I think the way that these spaces were designed from a aesthetic feel, one of the things we did was open up the walls. So actually where we're sitting on one end of the building, we can look down and see all the way across the other building. The spaces were designed in such a way that when you're in here doing work or you're socializing or you're bringing a networking group in, that energy reverberates across the walls here. I think that was done exceptionally well.
We wanted to be purposeful in how we were tastefully making a nod towards some of the historical aspect of the family being here and the business being here for as long as it has, without making it a central piece of us. Because I think ultimately, this company is about the agents that are here and the clients that they serve and how we're able to help them do that.
The company's made a huge commitment to renovate the entire space and make it more collaborative. And it's interesting what they've done. The cubicles are lower, the space is brighter, the colors are just more energetic, and the spaces are just so pleasant because everything's so new and bright. So it's a very welcoming atmosphere. Acoustically, it's fantastic too.
I think the physical space is critically important. It's a place where people come together, and I know I was inspired by that when I first started working here 12 years ago. As soon as I walked through the doors, it felt different. There was an energy rippling through this space because of the people that were here. They were driven people, they were focused. I have to credit you guys at ZD for rethinking this space to accomplish what we wanted to accomplish, which is people coming together and using it creatively.